All right, guys, we're back again today for some word study, and we're going to continue with the theme of contractions. Now, remember yesterday we said a contraction is two words coming together to make one word with the use of an apostrophe, and we lose one of the letters that we in the second word used to build the contraction. So today we're going to focus on contractions that use the word will and use the word not. Okay, so we're going to start with will. And here you'll see my first word I have is I'll, spelled with I. And notice it's a capital I because we still have to use that capital I in a contraction. I apostrophe L-L. And I'll is the same thing as saying I will. Another contraction using the word will is you'll. Okay? And the two words that make up the contraction you'll is you will. Now when I make that contraction, the apostrophe replaces the two letters W and I, and then I squeeze them together to get to my contraction. So let's think of some more contractions that will use the word will. Can you think of any? One that comes to my mind is he'll, which is he will. He'll go home on the bus after school today. Another one I can think of is they'll, or they will. They'll swing on the swing set after school. If you want to continue with this theme, we can think of the word. Now this one's to me, it always sounds kind of funny, and it is the contraction it'll. For it, that is tapping and driving me nuts. It will. Such as, it'll have to wait until tomorrow. Okay, so those are some contractions using the word will. And remember, when we make the contraction with will, we drop the WI and replace that with an apostrophe. We're concerned that Emmett's head got in the video, but he just wanted to see. So we're going to keep going. You're going to stay sitting there, Emmett, okay?
Can I have another orange?
You may have another orange. All right, now we're going to move to the contraction with using not. And here's an example of hasn't. And I saw a lot of that in the comments that you guys sent me yesterday for contractions. So great job with that. Hasn't is a contraction for has not. We can say Eliana did not or has not finished her homework, or we can say Eliana hasn't finished her homework. Another contraction using not would be didn't, which is the contraction for did not. Okay? Now when we make the contraction using not, we drop that O and we replace it with that apostrophe, and we squeeze the word together. Some other contractions, and I'm going to erase these so we have room. Some other contractions using not would be haven't. Okay, for have not. Can you think of some more? We all know this one, and it's not a word we are allowed to use in class, of can't. And that is a contraction for can not. You can use the word can't if you would also use the word yet. Okay, so we got to keep those positive thoughts going. There's a lot of contractions using the word not, but one that is really tricky for us because it's a rule breaker, it should be in jail. And I'm going to get rid of hasn't. Let's move hasn't out of the way. And we'll put it up here. And it is the contraction won't. Now, what two words are put together to make won't? Let's think about it. We know that the second word is going to be not, but what would that first word be? So I'm going to think of a sentence that uses the word won't. He won't share his toy with me. So let's think of another way of saying he won't share his toy with me. He wouldn't share his toy. Well, that's a contraction of different. That should have would here. Let me think. He will not. That's what it is. It should be he won't or he will not. So this is where the rule breaker comes in, because we don't even use the word will and won't. We actually completely change it. We're going to drop that and make this an O and an apostrophe T. So that is the most confusing contraction with the word not, because it doesn't follow the normal rules when making contractions. There's some others with the word not. We could have shouldn't. And if we continue along the lines of ouds, you would have wouldn't for would not. You could have couldn't for could not, and many, many more, okay? So you're going to go to Google Classroom now, and there's an assignment on there where I am going to give you some words, and you are going to use them correctly in a sentence, okay? So that should not take you very long to do that up, because I'm not going to give you that many to do, but we are going to do some practice with will and not. So hopefully you've learned something today, and you will remember from now on, when you see the word won't, you will think will not. All right? Thanks, guys.